Recently, for a documentary, we interviewed Jeri Ross. Jeri Ross is one of the daughters of Harold Rosenthal, who was my co-defendant. I don't do this ever in a video, but I just felt that it was the right thing to do. She wrote an amazing book. I suggest anyone can read it. And it's a tribute to her dad where she says, "I'll see you in the sky." But the interesting part about that was a part of the book where she talks about a letter that her father sent her. Now, I had never, after we got to Miami, they separated Harold Rosenthal and myself, and he went on to another prison where he escaped, then went to the jungles of Colombia, eventually got arrested and ended up dying in federal prison. But so he and I never had a chance to even talk about, share our thoughts about our tortures. But this is what she writes. He writes to her, "Honey, I was put in a chair with my hands cuffed in painful position under the chair. I was beaten and then taken to a dungeon cell. It was an old Spanish fort from over 200 years ago when Spain ruled the land. I was stripped naked. Nothing was in the cell, just a dirty concrete floor. I was kept handcuffed to the bars at all times. Lino's torture techniques were electric cattle prods, beatings, gasoline thrown on me, stand naked all day and hit if I moved, but I didn't talk." He went on to explain how he was able to survive in such a brutal predicament. "I conditioned myself for pain all of my life. I beat myself with branches and squeezed my fingers and toes with pliers. Plus, fighting had conditioned me for pain." He was a Golden Gloves fighter. "When in South America, I would run through all the jungle grass that cut and hurt to condition my skin." I never did none of that stuff that Harold did. He was just a very unique person. But his strength in the cell, as we're laying there and getting beat, and we would pass out, and then we would regain our conscience, and we would joke. He would joke about how we looked. And it gave me the strength to fight on. He then wrote, "What do you think of your daddy now? He's pretty crazy. I had to agree. He had never been a regular father. He was crazy to do the wild and dangerous thing he did." He said, "Dad's accomplice, Jorge Valdes, also wrote about the experiences in La Modelo. He published his version of the plane crash and captured a book called Coming Clean, the story of a cocaine drug lord and his unexpected encounter with God. His account matches exactly and expands upon my father. He describes terrible tortures as the guards tried to extract information from both men. And he concludes the chapter, torture, with a shocking scene. Don't let them defeat you, Jorge," Harold kept saying. "The harder you fight back, the easier it will be. It is in our underwear, Harold and I lay motionless on a concrete floor stained with sticky mosaic of blood, excrement, and vomit. One torture made a crucial mistake in allowing Harold and me to remain in the same cell. Had they separated us, one or both of us might have given up. But together, our power increased exponentially. Harold and I talked throughout the night. Occasionally, I glanced over at him and just shake my head, amazed at his stamina. He was filthy, and his body reeked with a horrible stench, but his spirit was that of a warrior. He had the heart of a giant. We were all still alive, and we had given no information to the guards." I was horrified to tears to read about my father being tortured, yet deeply moved to read that Jorge described my father as having the spirit of a warrior and the heart of a giant. Would Jorge have survived if my father were any other way? Would my dad have survived without Jorge? Truth of the matter is that I'll never be able to answer that question. Very, very difficult question, but I can answer that together we drew strength from each other. And when I saw him bleeding, and when I saw him all kinds of color and vomit and feces all over his body, literally I was just looking in the mirror because I had to look the same. But we survived. And had I been told that I would ever survive those tortures, no, I probably never would have. But would I be able to tell you back then that if I was tortured to that point, I would never break? No. But the truth of the matter is I did not break. And the same thing that I can live with the rest of my life is that I held strong. And I owe Harold Rosenthal a great part of that. Because I don't know how I would live had I known at the age of 23 that I had ratted out to save my skin. Be blessed.